Hello everyone. So in this video we're going to talk about the part 2 of natural language processing. So in my previous video you saw that how we are able to understand human language. Now in this video we are going to talk about how computers or programs can present information to human in a human way. So many of you would have been the aware of text to speech, but those, when we hear them we feel them that they are not organic. They are digitized voices, right? So as again in my previous video, this is just to give you a demo of what it is, not to talk more about it. Okay, so we are going to show the first one is IBM Watson. So this is input text. So there are a lot of voices that are available with each of those platforms. My personal favorite is Amazon, right? So over here I'm going to use American English, female, expressive and transformable. Okay, what does those mean? Let's do it one by one, right? So I'm going to click on speak, and this text is supposed to be spoken.
Conscious of its spiritual and moral heritage, the Union is founded on the indivisible, universal values of human dignity, freedom, equality, and solidarity. It is based on the principles of democracy and the rule of law. It places the individual at the heart of its activities by establishing the citizenship of the Union and by creating an area of freedom, security, and justice.
So you heard that it was able to speak that language, this text, into a more human way, and obviously you can make it even better. So there is something called as SSML. It's a markup language, where you can, just like your HTML that you use, similarly you can put it for voice as well. And this is a standard language syntax across all the platforms. So if somebody wants to learn more about speech to text or natural language generation, they should know SSML. Okay, so now I'm going to use SSML. So and that's how we respond to a customer service voice bot. So let's hear it out.
I have been assigned to handle your order status request. I am sorry to inform you that the items you requested are back-ordered. We apologize for the inconvenience. We don't know when those items will become available. Maybe next week, but we are not sure at this time. Because we want you to be a happy customer, management has decided to give you a 50% discount.
So as you would have heard, uh, you can see that there was an apology, there was happiness, and there was also uncertainty in that in the way the voice was spoken. So obviously you can add it to your program. Now there is also something called as voice transformation, right? Not always we speak softly, we whisper and things like that. So those are also possible using SSML or voice transformation tags. These are similar across all the platforms. So I'm not going to show you the demo across all the platforms, but you choose yours. So here it's a demo.
Hello. I'm Allison, but you can change my voice however you wish. For example, you can make my voice a bit softer or a bit strained. You can alter my voice timbre making me sound like this person or like another person in your different applications. You can make my voice more breathy than it is normally. I can speak like a young girl. And you can combine all this with modifications of my speech rate and my tone.
Okay, so now you know that the voice can be text can be spoken out in different ways. Now let's have a look at how Google has to serve. So you can quickly do a demo on top of it. Search for Google speech to text or text to speech demo. Sorry, text to speech demo, and you should land into this page. So you see there are various language locales. So you can see English, even Indian English will be there. So you can see English India as well. And then there are different types of voices: basic and wavenet. Wavenet is more humanly. That means that you can hear the breaths. You can add you know voices like uh-huh, yeah, okay, uh-huh, I got it. So these things will can be added very easily. So using that you can make it more human like, right? Might have seen the video from Sundar Pichai on a conversation between a bot and a store, you can use that. You can understand from there. So let's hear it. Oh, you have to click on the I am not a robot. Yeah, so now it should play.
Google Cloud Text-to-Speech enables developers to synthesize natural-sounding speech with 100-plus voices, available in multiple languages and variants. It applies DeepMind's groundbreaking research in WaveNet and Google's powerful neural networks to deliver the highest fidelity possible. As an easy-to-use API, you can create lifelike interactions with your users, across many applications and devices.
Okay, we heard that, right? Again, over here you have SSML tags, right? So using that you can program your voice as well. So I'm not going to repeat whatever I've shown for IBM. Let's now look into my favorite. Oh, there's not much text into it. Let's copy this text and paste it over here. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we have copied this text over here. Now over here there's something called as neural. A neural language, as we said over here when we talked about WaveNet, similarly you can have a neural language which is sounds more realistic. And obviously similar to that you have also SSL. Now let's hear my favorite voice, which you will also hear in my blog. This Brian's voice. It's a British English, and then it also has neural support. So this is the text that we have put. Let's listen to it. By the way, you need your credit card to be punched to create an identity.
Conscious of its spiritual and moral heritage, the Union is founded on the indivisible, universal values of human dignity, freedom, equality and solidarity. It is based on the principles of democracy and the rule of law. It places the individual at the heart of its activities, by establishing the citizenship of the Union and by creating an area of freedom, security and justice.
So you just heard Brian's voice. Let us try out another voice. So I'm going to English, and then let's look at Sally. I don't remember, there was a child voice as well. Let's look at Ivy. I think Ivy is the female child voice. So if you want a child voice, then you can use that as well. Let's listen to it.
Conscious of its spiritual and moral heritage, the Union is founded on the indivisible, universal values of human dignity, freedom, equality and solidarity. It is based on the principles of democracy and the rule of law. It places the individual at the heart of its activities, by establishing the citizenship of the Union and by creating an area of freedom, security and justice.
Okay, so by now you would have got an idea of how this natural language generation works, right? So basically it gets text or in other content and converts it into more readable or understandable format, right? There's also one part of it called as translation, right? So many users, you might have to create a centralized experience and then provide it in a native language for geographically diversified customers. So in order to do that, there's also something as a translation. These are also API based, easily available. You can test it out. I will try to keep this video short, so I will not talk about it. And let's take a practical example of how I use the same for my website. Okay, so this is my blog where you will have all the contents. So this is a beginner's guide to robotic process automation, an article that I wrote 2 days back. So let's refresh this one and see what it talks about. So okay, so if you see, I just converted it to different languages as well. So over here you have an icon plus play button. I did not record my voice for that. I used Brian's voice, Amazon Poly Brian's voice, to speak it. So many of the users who are on my blog might feel that bored, that might not feel like reading through it, so they can also hear my blog. So click on this button.
Beginner's Guide to Robotic Process Automation. May 6, 2020, the top news across the globe is overwhelming with human losses and economic slowdown due to COVID-19. Many of our friends in IT has lost their job and LinkedIn is flooded with resumes. I wish I can do more than writing these articles and help our friends. I am no industrialist, doctor, nurse or a government person.
So you can see that I was able to convey the message in a far better way, right? Now also Not only that, you can also have integrated my website with Alexa and a podcast. So if users feel like listening to Alexa, they can simply ask Alexa, open next generation bot and tell me about the news articles. So once I have that converted into speech, it becomes very easy for me to integrate with other products. So that's an added advantage that many of you will have. Now, I also talked about translation. Now, imagine the amount of effort it would have taken me to convert all my text that I have and hire a linguist, so who understands French or German, and to write articles in those texts. So I used AI. I'm not sure how accurate they are because I don't know French or German, but at least I have an option to present it. So over here, there are some flags. So if this flag is for French, so let's click on that and then see what happens. So if you see, once I click on French, my entire content, including my subject, is the text gets translated, right? The text gets translated automatically using using cloud. I'm using AWS for that, and then it provides me that language, right? So now that entire text is in French. Let's hear that now.
6 mai 2020, les principales nouvelles à travers le monde sont écrasantes avec les pertes humaines et le ralentissement économique dû à Covid-19. Beaucoup de nos amis en informatique ont perdu leur emploi et LinkedIn est inondé de curriculum vitae. Je peux faire plus que d'écrire ces articles et aider nos amis. Je ne suis ni un industriel, ni un médecin, ni une infirmière.
So that was for French. Let's look into German. Okay, let's close this one off. Yeah, so let's look into how German language is being used.
6. Mai 2020. Die Top-Nachrichten auf der ganzen Welt sind überwältigend mit Menschenverlusten und Konjunkturabschwächung aufgrund von Covid-19. Viele unserer IT-Freunde haben ihren Job verloren und LinkedIn wird von Lebensläufen überflutet. Ich wünschte, ich kann mehr tun, als diese Artikel zu schreiben und
So hope you got an understanding of how natural language generation works, right? Based on that, there are multiple applications. I'm not going deep into that. So for example, this chatbot that you can see on my right hand side, this is again built on IBM Watson, called as digital assistant, and I'm still working on it to fine tune it to answer to your questions and thoughts. Maybe I'll create a later video on that, on how I set it up, and I'll also create a video on how I did set this one up. It's a simple, easy process. Hope you liked today's video, and if you have any questions or feedback, please put it into the comment section. Thank you so much.